That's my whole purpose in life is to inspire people that, yeah, you strong enough,
Mm-hmm.
you are powerful enough, like it's in you. Like whatever you want to attain or do in life, like it's in you to do that. You got that power. So yeah, that's my goal in life, to inspire people to be they better selves and get to the other side of whatever it is that's holding them back.
I'm Naomi Hallum, a mother, long-term vegan, and someone who loves learning from others. I've gathered some of my favourite vegan parents, a mixture of advocates, activists, health professionals, chefs, and more, to talk about the benefits and misconceptions around vegan parenting, which are many. We'll also be talking about all the fun and not so fun stuff that we parents go through and how raising kids has shaped us. Whether you're curious about vegan parenting or just want to know where we get our protein, then this podcast is for you. It's a resource I wish I'd had as a first-time mom, but that you'll never have to be without. Welcome to Raising Gen V. I'm so excited to introduce C5, a plant-based rapper and father to a young son. Known for his viral music videos and as an artist who's shared the stage with music legends like Warren G, Snoop Dogg, and Usher, C5 uses his platform to spread powerful messages of social justice, kindness, and leading by example. His music inspires us to live with purpose, show up for our kids, and make the world a better place. As a father, C5 is raising his son with those same values, teaching him the importance of compassion, empathy, and activism. In today's episode, we'll dive into C5's journey as an artist, as a father, and how he's using his voice to raise awareness and set a positive example for the next generation. I can't wait to hear his story, so let's get into it. Well, my first question to you is, where did veganism come into your life? Were you born that way, or did something happen along the way?
Yeah, nah, something definitely happened along the way. I didn't even know what a vegan was until I was probably in my 20s, or like maybe like 18, 19. Growing up, I seen a lot of my family and like the stuff they was eating, and man, like a lot of my family, like they was struggle with weight problems. It's like, nah, I want to be fit. Like that was what I wanted. So I was kind of super food like conscious with the stuff I ate, but I was doing it the wrong way. Like I was counting calories, but I'd be eating top ramen, stuff like that, or just anything that had the least amount of fat in it. Like it was to the point where I eat some food and then I'd be like doing like jumping jacks to like burn it off like right after.
Okay.
Yeah, so I just like I had a big fear of being overweight.
So I guess that there were people in your family who kind of really instilled this fear in you, this fear of not being, I guess, healthy, mobile, having a full life, right?
Yeah, family, and I love my family. I hope y'all don't take this personal, but yeah, like just family and just even people around me. I just was like I had a fear of being overweight, or I seen my dad. Like my dad was fit, but he had this gut because he'd be drinking beers. So I basically seen a lot of what I didn't want, and that instilled me to do what I wanted. So so yeah, when I got to college, yeah, I was like I'm counting the calories
Yeah.
and all that stuff, and then man, I met my homeboy. He was vegan, and I see him with a shirt off because we would work out, and he was super cut up, always had good energy. And I've always been a curious person. I just started asking him questions, and I remember I was about to perform. It was like 30 minutes before I had to go on for a set, and this is like my senior year of college, because that's when I started my journey. So yeah, he was just telling me about his experience, how he had more energy, and what it do to his body, and it just inspired me. And I was like, oh, I'm going cold turkey, but I didn't go vegan. I went vegetarian.
Okay.
Cold turkey. I went vegetarian for a year. I did that, and I was like, all right, man, I'm going back to fish. And then so then I went back to fish, and it kind of been like an on and off process since 2015. And then about like 3 years ago, I remember I was recording. I was making this song. My voice was sounding immaculate, clear. And then I was like, all right, I'm gonna take a break. And I had this pizza that I had made like earlier that day. I took a bite of the pizza. It was cheese. It was a garlic pesto cheese pizza from Trader Joe's. That used to be my pizza. So I took a bite of the pizza, and I was like, went back in to record. I had all this mucus in my throat. And I was like, I just got chills saying that. So I had all this mucus in my throat, you know what I'm saying? Self-awareness. And I was like, wow, I see what it's doing to me now. Cause like when you don't really see what it's doing to you, you just gonna keep doing it. You don't really know. Right. So when I seen that, I was like, wow. And after that, I was like, I'm going vegan. I'm cutting off cheese.
Wow.
Along the process, the vegan process, I might have like some fish here and there. I just kind of got over that too.
Yeah.
And then I started learning more about what they do to the animals. And then that gave me compassion for the animals. Like, man, nah, I don't want to eat. I don't want to do that.
You went all the way down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, it was a process. It was a process, journey.
Yeah, and fish is always a tricky one because it's very difficult to relate to fish and see them as kind of individuals like us. I think a lot of people find it quite easy, or easier, I would say, to have compassion for like cows and pigs because they remind us a little bit of horses and dogs. The fish is a tricky one because they kind of exist in this realm we don't fully understand. So it's easy to kind of forget that they are just kind of as sentient as land animals.
That's a good point. That is a good point, for sure. But like even to this day, like I might have a piece of fish like every blue moon. I say I'm a vegan predominantly, but I'm a conscious eater. So, but if my body craving something that I feel like, oh, this don't do nothing bad to my body or make me feel bad, and I'm craving it, I'm like, oh yeah, I can have that.
Yeah. It's a tricky one. Do you feel different any time you have fish? Is there any kind of, because I actually was a pescatarian for a long time, right? I stopped eating meat when I was about 10 or 11 years old, but I continued to eat fish for a long, long time. And that was mostly because, well, one, I didn't think that fish could suffer, but two, I felt that I needed some sort of animal protein that had been drilled into me by my parents. So they were like, okay, well, we'll support your vegetarianism, but you need to eat some fish or something. So I was like, all right, I'll eat fish. And then I did for like another 20 years. And that was definitely for me. A lot of people say cheese is the hardest one to give up. I would say fish because I really couldn't find a connection to the individual as easily as I had been able to with the other animals. But a bit like yourself, the less I ate of it, the less I kind of craved it. So it got to a point where I would occasionally have fish and then be like, I didn't really enjoy it as much as I used to.
Yeah, because I don't want to be a vegan to the point where I'm just doing it like to say I'm vegan.
Right.
And I was like, I would fight with that sometimes. Like, can I have some fish? Like, no, I'm vegan. But it's like, nah, like my body want this. When I eat this, I feel fine. But yeah, it was just kind of like, oh, I don't even crave this no more. It don't do the same thing it used to do to me. Like, I'm cool. I'm good without it.
Yeah. So I guess you're quite supportive when people are like, they say, oh, well, people always say, right, I could never be vegan. And I often say, well, you don't have to be vegan. You can still try to consume vegan foods. Like vegan foods are not just for vegans, they're for everybody. And I think if people could just realize that it doesn't have to be all or nothing, you can lean towards it. And the more that you lean towards it, the more it will become kind of easy and enjoyable. Then maybe we should encourage that a little bit more instead of this absolutism.
I like that. I like that. Because even the word vegan, it's a lot of stuff that's vegan that might not be good for you. Like canola oil is vegan.
Yeah.
But
French fries are vegan.
French fries vegan.
Are you?
By the way, I love French fries. I love some good French fries.
I mean, French fries are actually most vegans' best friend because when there's nothing else to eat, there's
You eat French fries.
Yeah.
But see, like becoming vegan and just being on this health journey, like I can't just eat any regular French fries. Like I'll go to a restaurant and I ask them, like, what y'all cook, what kind of oil y'all use?
Yeah.
And they'd be like, canola. I was like, can y'all use olive? Like I've been places where they'd be like, yeah, we can use olive.
Yeah.
Because canola, I've felt what that does to my stomach too.
Right. And there is this misconception that people think because it's vegan, it's automatically healthier. And that is not the case. As anyone knows that's kind of explored and followed like what their body is telling them, you'll know that, you know, a lot of vegan foods are healthy if they're whole food, plant-based. But a lot of it can be processed and unhealthy, just like animal-based foods. So is that how you're kind of guided by how you feel about the foods you're eating?
I look at it like, how is this food going to make me feel? That weighs over how it tastes.
Mm-hmm.
And the things that that I know is gonna make me feel good, I trick my mind to make it taste good and don't let it have like nutrition benefits. I used to didn't like watermelon, bananas. It's a bunch of stuff I eat now that I wasn't really a fan of. But then I was like, all right, this has nutritional benefits. Watermelon hydrates you. It clears your skin. It clears you out.
Yeah.
I acquired a taste for it. Now I love watermelon. I got some watermelon in the fridge right now.
Well, it is true. The more you kind of eat of something or embrace it, the more you actually tend to like it. People say to me all the time, I don't like a lot of fruit or veggies, so I couldn't be vegan. And I'm like, well, maybe you should just try them again or try cooking them a different way, or maybe make sure you're buying something really fresh, because not all fruits are going to taste the same each time you purchase them. You know that. You can get some bad blueberries, you can get good blueberries, bad avocado, good avocado. But the more you try it, the more it's like, okay, actually, I'm getting a taste for this.
It's just like in life, right? The things that bring instant gratification ain't usually good for you. So like exercising, you might not like or want to get up to go to the gym, but you feel so good afterwards. And that's kind of how, you know, I look at life. And that's how I feel about the food. Like, all right, these type of foods are gonna shift my energy and help me be a greater person, look better, feel better, perform better. I need to acquire a taste for these things.
That's a really great way of looking at it, because as you said before, not a lot of people want to feel like they can't have something if they want it, right? Which is sometimes how people associate veganism. They're like, well, it's a kind of deprivation thing. But you're saying, no, look at it as like, what is going to make me feel good? And naturally, that's probably going to guide you towards a wholesome, plant-based diet, because those are the things that you feel good after eating. You know, you don't get the meat sweats from avocado. And like say, you don't get a lot of phlegm or bad skin or that lethargy that comes with eating dairy. So yeah, I think if people go, well, what's going to make me feel good instead of what can I eat? It's just a much more wholesome, positive way of approaching anything, right?
Yes, you experience the other side of food or whatever it is. And that's how I came up with my whole brand. My brand is called The Other Side. That's my like label, that's everything. Like that's just like my mantra for life, the other side. We all got something we trying to get to the other side of, or that we're on the other side of. So when I felt what eating unhealthy feels like, I've experienced that. And then I experienced the other side of that, and I don't want to go back to eating unhealthy because, man, I feel way better on this side.
That's really good, because a lot of people will be able to relate to that. I know so many people who have had health scares or have got, bad health in their family and are really scared about the path they're going down, but they kind of feel helpless. Sometimes they think, it's all genetic and it's their fate no matter what. And then I think they feel kind of a lot of burden of responsibility when they realize that it's actually up to them to change it. And they feel like they can't, maybe because they're so stuck in their ways, or they're worried they won't, like the food on the other side, or it's going to be too difficult to get there. Do you ever find yourself like giving guidance to anyone who's like, I guess, feeling like they don't have what it takes to get to the other side?
That's my whole purpose in life, is to inspire people that, yeah, you strong enough,
Mm-hmm.
you are powerful enough, like it's in you, like whatever you want to attain or do in life, like it's in you to do that. You got that power. So yeah, that's my goal in life, to inspire people to be they better selves and get to the other side of whatever it is that's holding them back.
So let's touch upon your music a bit, because as I told you before, and I completely mean this, it's very therapeutic. It's very inspirational. And that's, I think, because you're telling it from this personal perspective. You're bearing your soul, you're sharing your life, and you're just hoping that the outcome of that might be that it touches somebody or someone else can relate to it, and it will inspire them to be the person they want to be. Is that kind of what your objective has been? Or is that intentional? Or is that just the way your art comes out?
It's all of the above. It's intentional. You really, through the music, I just have like conversations like with myself, because I used to feel so alone in everything that I was going through. I didn't used to be this vulnerable or like share. But then when I started doing that, I noticed it started setting me free, and it started setting the listener, the people free as well. Cause they don't feel alone in it. They like, oh man, C5, like, bro, like you telling my story. Like that'd be like the greatest compliment to me. Like, you telling my story, man, you inspiring me, or your music made me cry. And it's like, oh, I touched something in you. I moved you emotionally, and now you got more faith in whatever it is you facing.
Well, it does. It does. And you recently, well, not recently, but not long ago, became a dad. How has that changed your life? Because it's, well, in my experience, a huge game changer when a child comes into the world.
What was the game changer for you?
I mean, first of all, before I had a child, it was all kind of like what I needed, what I wanted. And now it's very much like everything I do is about really trying to lead by example, but trying to create a better world for my child to grow up in. That's become really, really important for me. And
better world than what you grew up in?
I had a good childhood, but it's not so much about that. I now feel responsible for, I guess, how flawed the world is, and how I feel responsible for helping to create a better world with my child. So I guess what I'm worried about is, more now than ever, things like climate change, things like environmental racism and factory farming and all these things that, I want to create this beautiful world for my child. And I'm starting to see that the way we're going is not so beautiful. It's kind of a very consumerist world. We're all in it for ourselves, right? And I think that's generally everybody before they have a child. We're all about ourselves. And it's kind of opened me up to thinking, well, actually, it's not. It's about the future generations and what we can leave for them and what world we can create for them. So that I've kind of felt, well, at first I felt very stressed and anxious and responsible for making sure everything was perfect for her. Now I've kind of relaxed into it a little bit more, and I feel like it's just my duty to kind of show her the way and teach her to be conscious and kind and compassionate. And I feel like if we could all give that gift to our children, they themselves can create a world that we could only dream of. But maybe that's just me being philosophical.
That was beautiful.
What has having a child done for you? Has it changed you in any way? Has it changed your perspective on the world or your music even?
Man, good question. He definitely inspires my music a lot. I had this song called Letter to My Son.
I've heard that. It's beautiful.
Thank you. And it's, man, I basically just put in there like all the things I wish somebody would have told me.
You're teaching your son that he can be anyone he wants to be. And I fear that in the social media world we're growing up in, that children feel like this pressure to conform or perform or, I guess to follow societal norms. And I think what you were saying in that song and what I want to teach my child as well is like, you can be whoever you want to be, and you should be, and you shouldn't let anybody hold you back. And it's okay to be unique and to be kind and to be confident in yourself, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, he's definitely influenced the music. I feel like I go into every song now, like I'm thinking, man, he gonna hear this one day. So I want him to be able to take something from everything I put out, or every interview, you know, every time I speak, I want it to be, because he watching me, you know what I'm saying? He gonna watch these. He gonna watch this back, and he gonna hear this. I love you, son. And that's gonna be tight when he watching it. He gonna be, oh man, he gonna feel that energy. The whole Enjoy the Journey album, that's dedicated to him. You know, the one with him on the cover?
Mm-hmm.
That's dedicated to him. I want to create, like what you said, I want to create the best possible environment and world for him, you know, and give him as many resources that I can, and just guidance that I didn't have, for real. He gonna go through his journey. He gonna have his trials and his tribulations. Like, it's no way around that. I just want him to be equipped for those, and just to know who he is, for real. You know, like, that's why I didn't name him after me. Like, a lot of people were saying, name him a junior, name him a junior. I was like, nah, I want him to have his own identity and not think he gotta do what I did. Like, nah, you be Noah, because nobody could be Noah. Like, Noah could be Noah. And because nobody can be C5.
Well, of course not now.
Yeah.
But what traits of yours do you hope that you will be able to pass on to him, or that he will take from you?
Oh, good question. I would say accountability, you know, be accountable, be responsible, be clean, you know, take care of yourself, be healthy, be kind to others, be giving, be of service, and be gentle with yourself. Be resilient, son. And most importantly, just choose love.
So is Noah being raised as a little plant-based baby?
He's vegetarian.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so he'll
Yeah.
eat cheese and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, cause his mom vegetarian.
Oh, nice.
And so he eat cheese, and like the formula he had, it had some animal products in there.
Yeah, a lot of
some
people
dairy.
ask me about formula. I was able to get, there's only one FDA approved plant-based formula on the market, actually.
Mm-hmm.
It's the Enfamil. It's soy-based plant-based formula. And but it was hot. So I had my baby just towards the end of the pandemic. And I don't know if you remember back then, there was like a global shortage on formula.
I didn't know that.
But there was a time, and I think it was something to do with the supply chain, or factory workers not being able to work because of high contagion in sort of those environments. And I did breastfeeding for a bit, and then I wanted to switch to formula, and it was very difficult to get any. And there was, it was a real problem because not everyone can breastfeed, and a lot of parents out there were really struggling to get formula. And I remember very vividly going to the store. I think it was like a Ralph's or something, and there was a security guard guarding the formula aisle and only allowing people to take like one container at a time. And that was the time when I was most pleased to be plant-based, because the only formula that was left on the shelves was this soy formula. And I was like, yeah, I just want that one there, the green tub that nobody else wants.
Wow.
And I got my pediatrician to check it, and she was like, it ticks all the nutritional boxes. So I got lucky. Yeah.
That's tight. Yeah, I was conflicted about the soy because I know it got like a lot of estrogen, so we didn't want to do that. How you feel about the estrogen?
Yeah, so I worked in the nutritional field for a long time, and there's a lot of misconception around estrogen and phytoestrogen, which are two different things. So phytoestrogen is the estrogen that comes from plants. It's plant estrogen, and regular estrogen is the stuff that comes in very high volumes in animal-based milk. So actually, when you look at the different ways that estrogen and phytoestrogens react in the body, phytoestrogens actually have a very positive effect. They actually help to regulate animal-based, which is our base, estrogen levels in the body. And they also quite effectively reduce risk of cancer, breast cancer, prostate cancer, which is why tofu is actually recommended by Dr. Christy Funk, Dr. William Lee, all of the best cancer doctors out there. And I don't know if it's because there was this misunderstanding between like estrogen, because estrogen in the body is actually has the opposite effect. It spikes the hormone levels and it can actually increase rates of cancer. But estrogen that does that has to come from an animal. So it's actually cow's milk that has very high amounts of estrogen in it. And soy has phytoestrogen, which actually has the opposite, almost the opposite effect in the human body. And the two have either been confused or perhaps, and this is always possible, the dairy industry has just shared some misinformation and it's become popular. But there's definitely something to explore because I hear it a lot in the work that I do. And yeah, the science actually disproves soy actually has a very positive effect as long as it's non-GMO soy. That's an important one. So organic. Soy milk is also, according to all the pediatricians I've interviewed, the best replica for cow's milk in a child's diet because it has like-for-like protein and calcium. Whereas things like oat milk and almond milk, cashew milk are all great, but they don't have the same protein and calcium content. So actually soy is a winner on a lot of levels.
I wish I would have knew that.
I certainly want to use this podcast to say that processed foods can be good and they all have their place. And soy milk can be very good, particularly as a substitute for cow's milk when we want to avoid hormones and all those nasties.
I got a question for you.
Sure.
Why do you think the world pushes like more unhealthy stuff on us than like why don't the leaders of the world, whoever's running this thing, why they don't want us to be healthy?
I think the simple answer is that there's now too much invested in these businesses for them to back down.
It's money.
Yeah, it's money. It's the pharmaceutical business is very big, and pharmaceuticals wouldn't make all the billions that they make if people weren't getting as sick as they did. The meat, dairy, and egg industry make billions. And because they have so many billions, they can suppress studies that are negative about the health effects of meat and dairy. They can fund politicians into power so that they don't, expose the detriments of animal agriculture. So I think there's a lot of money and there's a lot of influence in that world, so much so that it's kind of holding a lot of information hostage. It's a bit of a twisted situation we find ourselves in, and it's hard for the truth to get out when so much money is paying to keep the truth hidden.
Wow, great answer. I think food is spiritual for sure.
Right.
I think everything's spiritual.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah.
So like food, like that's what's sustaining us. It gotta be spiritual. Got to. Cause like when I be eating fruit, I feel more connected.
Right. You feel better, but it's also like, if you eat something out of a container in your car as opposed to sit out and take time to consume something, you tend to feel better, like connecting with your food, like appreciating your food, all of that, the whole process. I think it's all part of that, isn't it? Thinking, where has this come from? How have I got it? Has anyone else or anything else been harmed for me to get this? And I think it's a good feeling to think, well, actually, there's always harm in the world, right? Even if we pick an apple, we may have harmed an insect or stolen a piece of fruit from a mouse, right? I think there's always impacts just when we exist, but I think it's minimizing that impact, right? Minimizing the negative energy that we put into the world and trying to build the positive.
Yeah, I look at it like this. I love this analogy. People drive cars. If your car take 91, you're not going to put 87 in there.
Right.
Or when you get your oil change, you ain't going to you ain't going to put no canola oil in there. You're going to go get your car serviced right. It's like you should have that same respect for your body. This your engine. This was getting you around in the world. Like, this is much more important than a vehicle, you know what I'm saying? Like external thing. So I look at it like that. Like, man, I'm gonna put the best of the best in here, all as much as I can.
Yeah.
Cause it's gonna keep me running.
Well, what did they say? Your body is your temple, not your trash can.
Your body is your temple, not your trash can. But yeah, I like talking about this stuff because it's like, I think it's so much work to be done. But I love this quote. I forgot who it was by, but they said, if you pick the problem that you could solve in a lifetime, like you failed yourself. So I feel like this is like a lifetime dedication to helping people, eat right. And I'm learning a lot today.
We're all students on this earth.
All students. Yeah, I love being a student.
Yeah, it's good.
Forever be a student.
Yeah.
Yeah. The moment I think I got it figured out, it's when I lost.
Yeah. So what is your hope, I guess, for Noah in the future? What sort of world do you hope that he inherits from our generation?
I hope that he create his own world that works for him, where he can have more, joy than other stuff. But you got to create your own world in this world, yeah.
Yeah, I do say that. Don't be afraid to change the world if you don't like what you see. It's not as it is, it's as we want it to be. Well, I hope we've given you lots of inspiration for a new song.
I'm inspired. For
good.
Sure.
That's good. Well,
this was beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No,
for
thank
having
you.
me.
Thank you for listening to Raising Gen V. If you'd like to hear more, please subscribe to this channel. You can also watch videos from this podcast via our YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook channels, details of which can be found in the description. Comments, likes, reviews, and ratings mean the world to my team and I, as do suggestions for future podcast guests and topics for discussion. Remember, children learn more from who you are than from what you teach, so make conscious choices, be curious about the world, be infinitely compassionate, and pave the way for a better tomorrow. See you next time.